In the heart of the verdant hills of Uvuru, where the air always seemed filled with the sweet scent of mango trees, there lived a young woman named Adama. The village was small, nestled beside the river Ohu, and was known for its vibrant marketplace, where farmers, artisans, and traders from all corners of the land gathered. The people of Uvuru were simple folk, with their lives tied to the seasons and their customs passed down through generations. It was here that Adama's story began. Adama's father, Chief Nwankwo, ruled the village with wisdom and fairness. He was a man of great respect, known for settling disputes with an even hand and for his deep love of his people. Adama had grown up learning the ways of the elders, and like most girls of the village, she had been groomed for marriage. From a young age, her mother, Nene, taught her how to spin cloth, cook hearty meals, and perform the graceful dances that were central to their customs. All the while, however, Adama's heart yearned for something more than what the world had planned for her. As a child, she would sneak away from the chores and climb the hills just beyond the village. There, she would sit by herself beneath the shade of a large baobab tree, watching the sun set over the vast landscape. In these quiet moments, she felt as though the entire world was holding its breath, waiting for something yet to come. It was during one of these secret escapes that Adama first saw the dancers. The village's festival was fast approaching, and the elders had begun to practice the ancient dances, which were to be performed for the entire village and neighboring tribes. But Adama had never seen the dancers like this before. They were not the usual graceful women who moved in perfect harmony to the steady rhythm of the drums. These dancers moved as though they were one with the earth itself, their feet stamped into the soil as though they were calling the spirits of the ancestors to join them in their celebration. The leader of the group was an elderly woman named Auntie Ifeoma, known for her strength and agility despite her age. Her eyes gleamed with a knowing wisdom, and she danced with a freedom that Adama had never seen before. She moved with abandon, her body swaying in ways that seemed almost unnatural. It was as if she was no longer bound by the rules of the village or the expectations of society. To Adama, this was the purest form of expression, a dance that was not just a performance, but a declaration of who they truly were. Adama had never seen such beauty in movement before. The dancers' movements were raw and unrestrained, filled with a passion that resonated deep within her. And so, with each passing day, Adama found herself drawn to the practice. She would hide behind the trees, watching them in awe, her heart pounding in her chest. They had no interest in marriage proposals or becoming wives. They danced to honor their spirits, to celebrate their own existence. One evening, after watching the dance for many days, Adama approached Auntie Ifeoma. The old woman smiled warmly as Adama stepped forward, her long, slender body trembling slightly. "Auntie, can I join you?" Adama asked, her voice soft but earnest. Auntie Ifeoma studied her for a long moment. Then she nodded. "You are ready, Adama. The dance is not just for the body, it is for the spirit. But you must understand, once you enter this dance, you leave behind the expectations of others." Adama's heart leapt in her chest. She had known, in that instant, that she could no longer ignore the call of her soul. She would join these women, these free souls, and learn the dance that had become so much more than just a tradition. But as Adama began to practice with Auntie Ifeoma and the other dancers, the village was abuzz with talk. The festival was nearing, and whispers spread like wildfire. Some praised her for her boldness and the strength of her spirit. Others, mainly the elders, were concerned. "What is this nonsense?" they would ask. "What happened to the grace and decorum of our ancestors?" Adama's parents were among those who grew uneasy. Nene, especially, was concerned. "Adama, what are you doing? You are a daughter of the chief. This is not how a young woman should behave. You must prepare for marriage, not run wild with these women." But Adama, her heart brimming with newfound courage, replied, "Mother, I am not running wild. I am finding my own path, the one my heart calls me to. I am not like other girls, and I do not want to be like them." Her mother's face fell, and she sat down heavily. "You will be left alone, my daughter. People will not understand you." Adama had heard these words before, warnings of how society's judgment could be harsh. But she stood firm. "I would rather be true to myself and alone than wear a crown of lies." As the day of the festival arrived, the village square was filled with vibrant colors, the air alive with the sound of drums and flutes. The villagers, dressed in their finest clothes, lined the square, eager for the performance. The young women dressed in elaborate costumes, each hoping to catch the eye of one of the handsome suitors who had come from neighboring villages. The princesses, too, stood at the front of the gathering, their perfect faces glowing under the sun's harsh light, their movements graceful but distant. But Adama stood apart. She was dressed in simple cloth, her hair wild and untamed, her face free of makeup. She did not want the gold and glitter, she wanted something deeper, something that could not be measured by outward appearances. She had invited Auntie Ifeoma and the dancers to perform, not for the approval of others, but as a celebration of their freedom. The crowd watched in silence as Auntie Ifeoma and her dancers took to the center of the square. Their movements were unlike anything the village had ever seen. They did not dance for a prize or for marriage. They danced for the joy of being alive, for the rhythm of the earth beneath their feet, for the winds that carried their spirit. Adama joined them in the center, her body moving with the grace and wildness she had dreamed of for so long. The drums echoed in the distance, and the firelight flickered, casting long shadows on the ground. And in that moment, she felt it, the true freedom that comes when one is at peace with themselves, when they are no longer bound by the expectations of the world. As the night drew to a close, and the stars blinked overhead like diamonds in the sky, the villagers stood in awe. They had never seen anything like it. The air was filled with a sense of wonder, and though they did not yet fully understand, they felt a deep truth in the dance. The festival ended, but the village would never be the same. Adama had shown them that love and expression did not have to be confined to tradition or expectations. True love, she realized, was not something that could be found in the glittering festivals or in the applause of others. It was something that came from deep within, something only she could give herself.